Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Couch Warrior podcast. As always, I'm your host, Mike, and today I have the pleasure of speaking to Malcolm Wellmaker, an undefeated prospect, up and coming, likely to end up in the UFC soon. What's up, Malcolm? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm excited, man. Ready to do the interview. Training been going good, and like you said, hopefully in the UFC soon, man.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Almost there, almost there. But
That's right.
so I like to start off from the beginning, get an idea of how you got into MMA. Is it something you've always been into, or is it something that came to you later on in your life?
Yeah, definitely later, bro. I didn't start training until I was 22 years old. So I mean,
Oh,
I'm
wow.
29 now. A lot of people don't know how old I am because I look young, but 22, I walked into the gym I train at now, and that was the first experience I've had with any combat sports. I never did wrestling, boxing, karate, nothing, man. I played a little bit of little league basketball when I was like, a kid. But yeah, 22 years old, man. I walked into the gym. They beat me up pretty good, showed me how to throw a punch, and it went from, me just wanting to get in shape to me competing in kickboxing to MMA, and it just, snowballed into what it is now, man.
Wow, that's crazy. Because I mean, usually people with your kind of record, they've been doing it since they were young, or they started young. A lot of the guys I've spoken to so far, they started when they were 18, their first fight, and you only walked into a gym at 22.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Like I said, I didn't even plan on competing, but you know, when I first got into it, Conor McGregor was taking over the game. It was around 2017, man, and I just was infatuated with his style. So I watch his highlights, watch his fights all the time, go to sleep watching them, and I just fell in love with it, and I ended up having a gift, man, a little bit of talent, and the right people around me worked hard, and it turned into amateur wins to amateur belts to professional knockouts to professional belts, and look at us now. So
Would you say you styled your like, I guess, your MMA style based on like McGregor at all in the beginning, at least?
all day, all day. Like, bro, I'm telling you, like, I watched nobody but Conor McGregor, and it was a little bit of boxing I watched too because I love boxing. But as far as MMA goes, bro, I didn't care about none of the old greats. I didn't care about nobody who did anything other than Conor McGregor. And I know, like, some people, they make fun of that because the history is rich and you got to know the champions and the greats. And bro, I don't watch no George St. Pierre, bro. Like, I'm guilty, dog. Like, they talk about Fedor, they talk about all these old school greats, and I respect it, but I didn't watch them. You know what I mean? It was Conor that I fell in love with, and then I watched a lot of the relevant MMA between then and now. But I'm no history fanatic when it comes to MMA, man. I was a casual and somewhat still am, to be honest, man.
That's cool. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
So, you started late at 22, and I've seen a lot of people before asking, like, I'm 20 something. Is it too late for me to get into it? Do you have any words for anybody watching who might be thinking about that?
It's not too late at all, man. Worst case scenario, you learn how to defend yourself. That was my plan. I didn't get in it, concerned about what I could accomplish in the sport. And I'm just glad I did when I did because I still got enough youth. And some people think 30's old, man, but that's physically prime, early 30's for a guy. So, 20s, mid 20s, even late 20s. Better late than never, man. I say get into it and let it turn into what it's gonna turn into.
Oh yeah. Are you still at your original gym, or are you somewhere new now?
Same place, bro. Same place that showed me my first punch, man. It's the same guys that cornered me in my first fight, and every single one of them.
You close with like your coaches and stuff?
Oh yeah, man. Like real family, man. I call my head coach Pops. Like, so I started calling him Pops because him and his son have the same name. Jason Fagler Jr., Jason Fagler Sr. And so I just referred to him as Pops one day, and it stuck. And so half the whole competition team call him Pops. His son Jason Fagler Jr. He close to my age, just a year or two older than me, and we like best friends, man. Really like brothers, man. And we got a real tight bond. I talk to these dudes every day. After training's done, man, we'll sit on the mats and talk for an hour every night. Just keep each other updated, mess around, have a good time, bro. We take fight trips all the time, have a blast, have the craziest stories. They're really family to me. All of them, man. I love it so much.
That's what's up. Are you training full time right now?
No, I'm training alongside working a regular job as well. I'm still in the pipe trades. I'm a pipe fitter, pipe welder.
Okay, cool. Like plumbing?
Yeah, so we do a little bit of plumbing, but more so like industrial steel piping and like kind of plants, power plants, stuff like that. Just local places around Augusta, South Carolina, stuff like that.
Okay, I was asking because my pops is a plumber, so I
Is he?
was curious. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny, but I'm a pipe fitter, and we have plumbers in our trade as well. But the pipe fitters like make fun of the plumbers, and you know what I mean. The plumbers, they do their job, and the welders do their job. It's always like kind of antics between us, but same difference, man. The pipe fitters do plumbing, the plumbers do pipe fitters. It's all one and the same. So we love each other.
Cool.
Yeah,
So
man.
I actually wanted to ask you, and then you ended up actually wearing it on your chest. I wanted to ask you about your nickname. Is it Walla? And
Yeah, it's
where does
Wallace.
that come from?
So it's a whole bunch of different stories I tell people. But long story short, when I was younger, man, it was really a joke that was kind of thrown at me. Like it was this girl who said I was cute like a koala, honestly. And my friends got wind of it, bro. So they was trolling me for a while, calling me that. And when I was in that age, I also wanted to rap, so I needed a rap name. And then we started calling me K Walla, and then we eventually let go of the K and just started calling me Walla. And yeah, anybody from like middle school, early high school era to like current day, I either introduce myself as Walla or Malcolm, depending on where I'm at. But a lot of people know me as Walla, and yeah, Walla the Machine. That's me, man.
Nice. Do you still rap?
No, absolutely.
Never.
Hey, that was short lived, bro. That was short lived. I actually I was a producer, man. I made beats alongside rapping, and I tried rapping a little bit, but my friends they was better rappers than me, and I just fit into the puzzle better as a producer making beats for everybody. So me and my friend group, that's kind of what we did. We made music. I would make beats. They would rap, and that's what we spent all our time doing. And I loved that for a long time, man. From like maybe around 14, I started making beats, and I kept doing that all the way through like college, and even worked with Chief Keef. I made a
No
beat for
way.
him before. Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, I left that stuff. I left it alone a long time ago.
Gotcha. One of my friends is he produces music too. That's actually my intro song. He made it
Oh,
on the
really?
couch. Yeah, we were chilling, and I was
Yeah.
telling him how I needed like a song or just a beat, and he's like, "I got you." And it took him like a minute, bro. And he showed it to me,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
was like, "That's nice, bro. Thank you."
Yeah, bro. It's some talented people out there, man. It really is.
Yeah, but going back to MMA, I wanted to ask you. So, combining your amateur and pro careers, you got 8 knockouts, right? And you're a bantamweight, and just watching your fights, you've got a crazy amount of power for the weight class. Is that something you've trained, or is that just something you had from the jump?
It was, bro. It was from the jump. It was. I really don't even know. I mean, I really feel like it's God given because Dan. He saw my second kickboxing match. And this was less than a year of training I had at the time. We was wearing 10-ounce gloves and headgear, and I hit a dude with a cross and gave him chicken legs and won by TKO. So I never really trained particularly power until later in my career, but from the jump, man, I was hitting hard, and it was just like I said, a God given thing I had.
And now you're training it, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's a
So
scary
now
shirt.
I really know how to deliver some power on my shots now. So yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell from your fights, it's really impressive, bro. You look real good for you're only 7-0 as a pro, right? Only seven
That's
pro
right.
fights.
Yep. Yep.
That's not that many, and you already look super developed. Like you have like 15, 20 fights. So
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. I one of the biggest things I used to struggle with was composure and looking clean because man, used to I go in there, you know how it is, you put leather on somebody and like now you just like you wanna feel it again, you wanna fight them and get your licks in. And for the longest, man, I struggled with going in, being composed, taking my time and working a game plan and letting the knockout come to me instead of hunting it. And yeah, in my most recent fights, especially my one in January that I had in Atlanta, uh, that was the cleanest, most composed performance I've had, and that's how I want to look in all my fights.
nice. So I wanted to ask you, what do you think is your hardest fight so far?
Oh man, Taylor Moore. I went 5 rounds with him. He was out of Scorpion Fight Systems in Michigan. Um, and it was my first championship fight as a professional. And it went the distance. And this dude is, first of all, bro, he looked like he weighed about 170 pounds. That dude is huge. I have no idea how he makes the weight. Look, I like to think, it's no fear in my heart. But when I saw him at those weigh-ins and the face-off, I said, Jesus, he is huge. So he was just so strong. He was so experienced, man. I think at the time we fought, his record was like 11-7. And then aside from that, he had over 15, 16 amateur fights. Had fought all over the country. And he was just coming out of a high level camp. Those guys had a great game plan for me, which I talked to him about after the fight, about the way that he planned on, countering my approach of, I like to get guys close to the cage and put a hard shot on them. That's really how I finish most of my fights. And they had an incredible plan to counter it. And from the first round to the very last round, I mean, this dude did not let off the gas. He gave me everything he had. And it was a dog fight, man. It was insane, man. So that fight with Taylor Moore, hats off to him, man. We still talk to this day, man. He's an awesome dude. I want to see him win. I want to see him succeed. And he is, I tell you what, man, he's good enough to beat a lot of the guys that's in the UFC right now. I know it, man.
I was actually going to ask you if you think he can make it himself too.
100%, man. I think a lot of it is him having to be, he needs to be a little bit more selective with the fights he chooses. And I even think with him selecting me to fight me, at the time I was 5-0, and a lot of people hadn't seen what I could do. So I don't even think it was, a bad decision on his part, but they just didn't know what we knew. You know what I mean? So that's all that happened. But bro, he's definitely got what it takes. He gets the opportunity because he's fought on Contender Series before. He gets the opportunity again. I very, very much so believe he can make it. And he fought Danny Sabatello when he fought last time on the Contender Series, and that dude's an animal, bro. He beats anybody on Contender Series. So I just think, the cards just wasn't in his favor for a while, but like he's definitely got what it takes. And if he keeps at it, he'll get there.
I always feel like it's so interesting, like that you can fight someone for 5 rounds, like beat the crap out of each other, and then turn around and just talk to them after. Like, what's that like? Like, does it just not matter?
It's really, I think what it is like, you just respect them so much more. When they step in the cage and how both of y'all had fear, both of y'all had nerves you had to conquer, both of y'all had to go in there and take each other's heads off. When it's all said and done, you just look at this person and you embrace them because you respect them in a way that you can only respect them after you have bloodshed together. And that's really what it is between me and him, man. It's just like a dog recognize a dog, man. You know what I mean? So he's got my utmost respect and love.
Nice. So out of your entire career, amateur and pro, you've only got 1 loss, and that was in your amateur career pretty early, right? What was that like, getting that first loss? Like, did it affect you? Did you want to keep fighting? Did it kind of make you rethink anything?
Yeah, so the crazy thing is that fight in particular, I had recently got a new job. I was working a lot more hours. I was starting to step up in competition. I was missing a lot of wrestling classes and just making it up with bag work. You know what I mean? And when I took that fight, I was, I had been winning and beating the entry level guys in MMA. And I was confident, I beat a wrestler before. I'll beat him again. I'm talented. I can get away from it. And even though like I was defending takedowns, he wasn't really putting a beating on me. Just the fact that, it turned into a loss. When I reflect on the camp and look at all the things that happened in the camp, it really showed me that the camp matters, the work ethic matters, the discipline matters, the commitment matters, the resolve matters, the mindset matters. And it won't always, manifest in, them directly taking advantage of the things that you slacked on, but it's the principles. It's, are you going and doing the things that you don't want to do? Are you working as hard as you can? And if the answer is no, then on fight night, it will show. And that's really what it showed me, man, because that was, the first time that I really struggled to make it to practice and was missing a bunch of days, and my camp wasn't really happy with me. And I got heat checked and I needed it, man. So since then, never again, man. I'm fully committed. I miss no days. I do the things I don't want to do. And it always pays off, man.
So do you think that was something that was good for you in the long run?
Absolutely. I needed that because I couldn't imagine had I never lost in the amateurs and still be up to this day, never experiencing a loss. So it was good. It was good to see what it feels like to lose, and especially during the amateurs where the stakes are so much more low, and then it's not even like I got, knocked out in a devastating way. It was an armbar finish in the third. But so many lessons I took away from it. And it was in Augusta too. It was in my hometown at a ballpark stadium. It was a huge show and very humbling experience, but it developed me so much, man. And I remember that being a pivotal point in the way I committed myself to the craft. I work hard like it's a job, not just like something I enjoy or a hobby.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's important. But so we spoke about it a little bit before we got on air. In Georgia right now, you guys have a lot of guys coming through, really emerging MMA scene. We got Jared Gooden and Cody Durden already in the UFC. We got guys like Reese Watkins, who I told you I spoke to, coming out from the regionals. How does it feel to be a part of that, and be one of the best guys, in my opinion, coming out of that scene?
It feels good, man, because to be real with you, like, right now is probably where we have the most talent with the most recognition coming out of this area. But still, the name is a short list. It's not like a huge list of guys that we all know are gonna make it. It's still a select few. So to be a part of that select few, it means a lot. Because outside of, I think Forrest Griffin, he came out of Augusta long ago, but since then we've not had a guy out of Augusta make it to somewhere like PFL, Bellator, UFC. So to be the guy that could possibly make that step into those organizations, UFC in particular, that's what I want, right? Is big, man, and I can't wait to do it. I can't wait to tell the city, hey, we got a guy in the UFC. We did it. It feels incredible, man, and I love staying in touch with the people in my area, the places that I'm from. So it'll be great to share that glory and bring those eyes to the city, man.
Yeah, for sure. So in the beginning, I kind of mentioned it. At this point, 7 wins, pretty much all of them by finish. And the Contender Series is probably coming. Have you heard anything yet from the UFC, or are you still waiting on that?
So I don't know how familiar you are with like the guys that work with the UFC or Iridium, my management, but Jason House in particular is my manager. He works with Brandon Royval, Brandon Moreno, Sean Strickland, Cheeto Vera. He's really close with these guys and manages them personally. And that's my manager as well. And we talk fairly often. I just talked to him last week. He checks in on me, let me know he still got me in his mind. You know what I mean? But to put it in a nutshell, after my last fight, he was very happy with the progress that we've made. He's very happy with the work that's been done. And the blanket statement I was given was keep the weight low, stay ready, and wait for a phone call. So, just taking that for whatever it is, man. It could be Contender Series. It could be a short notice call for a prelim UFC Vegas card. Or it could even be, me fighting in a organization like Fury for a belt and then getting my contract afterwards. Like, I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but I know that the next step is the step towards where I want to go. So keeping the weight low, man. I'm training frequently and staying ready.
Nice. So I ideally for your next fight, would you prefer to, maybe get a little bit more experience outside of the UFC, or do you think you're just ready to go?
I'm ready to go, baby. I'm ready. Look, man. Look, I watch these UFC cards, man, and I try to be as humble as I can. But it's a couple guys. I want right now, man. It's like I'm seeing guys in my division that's getting the traction and success, and it's like I can see myself stacking up against these guys, and in the most humble way possible. I can see myself beating these guys, in dominant fashion, maybe even getting a performance bonus if I'm lucky, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm ready to go, man. I don't feel like I need more local experience. I think there's plenty of guys that's in the organization right now that if you put me in front of them, I'm gonna put on a good show and I'm gonna go get me a finish. So I'm ready to go.
So you actually pretty much just read my mind, because the next thing I wanted to ask you was, okay, you get the short notice opportunity, or you win on the Contender Series, you get the contract. Do you have any ideal opponents that you'd want to fight first?
I don't have any guys in particular. Just give me anybody. Give me anybody, man. You can give me a wrestler, give me a grappler. I would love a striker. I would love a striker. But any of them, man. Any of them that's fighting to try to make a name for themselves. Any other guy that's unranked, or even if it's a ranked guy. If I could get like Mutino had against Sean O'Malley, put me in there. Like, what I'm saying? Let's do it. Really anybody, man. I just want my opportunity, and I'm just ready to perform, man. I'm ready to represent.
So once you said striker, I actually just got an idea in my mind. How about Peyton Talbot?
Oh man, look. All right, I wasn't gonna say his name, but that dude, he is. I I see so much of myself when I see him. I mean, we look alike. You know, we both got tattoos. The way he fights, he's a striker. He's confident. He's even got a stature similar to mine. And I watched him fight on Contender Series. I watched both of his performances in the UFC. Dude is making waves, and that's one of those people that I watch and I see them doing what I want to do. You know what I mean? And it's not jealousy, it's not envy, it's my competitive nature and my desire to be there as well. But bro, put him in front of me. Put him in front of me. I want him. You know what I mean? He got a style that I feel like if you put us both in there, both of us walking away with 50 grand and somebody's getting knocked out. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm ready for that, you know. So yeah, that's somebody's name who's on my mind, who's on that list. Definitely, for sure.
Nice. Yeah, that's a fight I want to see for sure. That's a good one.
That'd be a great fight. I love that fight, man. I don't think anybody take a back step. I think we sit there in the center and we trade. We throw all types of stuff at each other, and then one of them will put one of us down, and I expect to be putting him down. Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's it. UFC's got to hit me up. I'm the new matchmaker now. Taking
Hey,
over.
that's right, bro. That one will make waves, man. That one will make waves, surely. Definitely.
Oh yeah. But all right, so just to wrap it up, I wanted to get your thoughts. We have a really big event coming up next week. We got UFC 300. You got any thoughts, predictions on that card?
Uh, man, the fight that I'm probably looking forward to most, because it's a stat card. There's a ton of fights. But Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway, man, what a fight. Bro, I love both of these dudes so much. And then, you know, when I think about that fight, I look back and I think about Dustin Poirier fighting Max Holloway and just how the power was such a problem for Max Holloway to deal with. So I'm interested to see if, you know, Max Holloway has taken anything away from that fight and will be implementing it against Justin Gaethje. But also, man, Justin Gaethje is just a different beast, man. I mean, he knocked out Dustin Poirier, but that fight, no doubt about it, is probably my favorite fight on the card coming up. The main event, Pereira and Jamal Hill. I think a lot of people was dissatisfied with it being the headliner, which I can understand, but that's actually a great fight. That is a great fight, man. I think Jamal Hill is one of those people who maybe won't pass the eye test for some casuals, but if you know what you're watching and you know what he's done to the people he's done it to, then you know just how dangerous and talented he is. And for him to be going against Pereira and have the confidence that he has, I'm super excited to see that fight too. Honestly, man, most of these fights are toss-ups, though. Like, I don't know who to pick. It's like pick-ems on almost all of them for most of the fights, but I'm incredibly excited about it. So I'll be tuned in for sure, man. Definitely.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Max is one of my favorite current fighters. I actually got a picture of him right here, fucking up Calvin Kattar.
I like that. Yeah. I'm the best boxer in the UFC. Yeah.
Dude, one of the sickest things I've ever seen.
Man. Yeah, that was incredible. I love Max, bro. I love him so much. He's super, super good, super, super talented, man. In the fight he had with Brian Ortega, where he was talking to him and kind of giving him pointers in the
Showing
fight.
him how to block.
This dude is insane, bro. Like, it's like stuff like that, man. It just blows my mind that people are that composed under fire and talented, man. That's God-given gifts, man. I love it, man, so much. Definitely.
Hell yeah. But all right, man, that's all I got for you. Before we hop out, I wanted to give you opportunity, you know, plug yourself, any socials you got, any shout outs you want to give. Now's your time.
All right. Yeah, man. You can follow me on all platforms at Walla the Machine. That's what I got, Walla the Machine, on all my platforms. And outside of that, man, I just want to say thank you to you for making time for me coming and doing the interview, and then Dan for plugging us in, man. That's an awesome dude. And yeah, just keep your eyes open, man, and keep your ears open, because I'm sure it won't be long before some news gets dropped about me and what I'm doing next. And maybe me and Peyton Talbot will have something go down in the future, man. I love that fight.
Hell yeah, dude. I want to see that fight now. But
we're going to play this clip in the build up to the fight, man.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We called it. You and me called it.
That's right. That's right. Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for coming on. It was a great time. And good luck training, bro. And see you in the UFC soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, bro.
Peace, bro.